I convene the January 21st, 2026 regular board meeting to order at 7 p.m. Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Lisle.
Here.
Vanessa Berry.
Here.
Debbie Bryan.
Here.
Josh Martin.
Here.
Karen Larson.
Here.
Laura Bailey.
Here.
Liz Sullivan.
Here.
Okay, thank you. Agenda item number 2 is opportunity for visitors to speak. Public comment is for the general public to address the board. Each person will have up to 5 minutes to provide public comment. Seeing none, we will move on to agenda item number 3.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, which is to go into closed executive session. May I have a motion and a second, and would the trustees please read the full citation aloud?
I move to go into executive session under 5 ILCS 120/2C11 litigation. When an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending before a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for the finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion? Okay, roll call please.
Emily Lisle.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Bailey.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Okay. We are back now in open session at 8:18 p.m. There is no action, and we will continue with the agenda. Okay, so agenda item number 4 acknowledges that Trustee Larson and Trustee Sullivan reviewed the December billings in January, and that President Swistak and Trustee Paley will review the January billings in February. Item number 5 is the consent agenda. Is there a trustee who wishes to pull something from the consent agenda? If not, may I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda, which includes the minutes of the December 17th, 2025 board meeting, acknowledgement of the December 31st, 2025 treasurer's report, investment activity report, current assets report, revenue report, expense report, and the authorization to pay the January 21st, 2026 bills.
A second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Lisle.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Bailey.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Agenda item number 6 is unfinished business related to capital improvement projects. 6A 1 and 2 include an update on the BAS project and the nature trail project. Mark, would you please walk us through these agenda items?
Of course. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for your meeting for us.
I know, and I'll apologize in advance. I did have another commitment at 8:30 for another big meeting. So I don't want to rush this, I guess is the short story. Just I will try to, if I have to do something, figure out something in the back end here, just so you know if that's
Thank
what
you.
I'm fumbling with on my phone. Short story in the BS system is they are continuing to make progress on Fridays. Essentially, they've committed and been consistent with coming out on Fridays. We knew they were going to come out the 9th. We were not 100% sure, and they did come back out 13th. I think we're going to see if they're coming back out again this Friday. I would expect it, and they're giving updates now on progress of the. They're about a third of the way officially through the list. I would think, though, that there are a few of the items still on that list are somewhat duplicative, or they're just kind of one thing leads to another one. So hopefully some of the next will take off 2 or 3 at a time. But there are still open items. It's a short story. I think from talking with administration, it makes sense to continue on the same path we've been following. They're coming out. They're trying to make it right. Let's not get in the way of that at this moment, unless something changes. In terms of the lot planning, obviously we've got a budget. We've got Craig from Terry here, and he can speak to a little bit. We did receive a proposal after the last board meeting, but we also had the bad news that we did not get the grant. Everyone's aware of that. So where does that leave us is kind of the question. The library can move forward, obviously, with the project, but at the same time, I think there's probably some steps and some discussion on what financial commitment the library wants to put out and when, what's the right timing. So what we've kind of outlined is the just so you have it, all the information on the proposal from Terra in terms of the different breakdowns of their fee, and how that plays into it. But a lot of that is also incumbent on what the scope of the project is. So determining what that scope is for you is what our first step. We've laid out that potential project schedule. We've laid out the whole project budget so you see where that all fits. But we're anticipating there's probably some discussion. I don't know if Director Weinstein wants to talk about it at all right now with what's the right timing, and do we want to look at the scope of it further in more detail before we take any next steps, and really make sure that we're all in lockstep against it and where we want to go after hearing the news in the grant.
What I'll say is, my idea would be either to have an overview of our financial plan and tying in with our 10-year replacement plan that we have with CCS, in terms of like roof and things like that, and see what meshes with our investment, kind of our laddering of our investments, see what's liquid, see what's not liquid, see what's feasible. Looking at the Terra proposal and seeing what's in there, and do we have to scale it back? Do we want to do this in phases? Or is this something that we can afford to do as we thought we could do, like coming this summer or something like that? So I don't know if you're gonna say.
I think we wanted to really hear your feedback, knowing that news now. That's where it's really important to have this discussion, that feedback, and talking to Craig, and he can speak to it too. There are different things that he was suggesting that you can do to look at. Okay, how do we phase this? How do we, the things that you can do to reduce some costs and balance it out with some of the schedule considerations. It's actually not something I'm saying. I'm just saying on behalf of Craig. You can say it because you told me a half hour ago out there. But things like the bridge and some of those things, if you're buying them prefab, might be a long lead item. Well, would you plan on that being a phased item anyways? That type of thing is some of the thought process. And I don't want to volunteer anything for Craig, but is there something that they're not in a contract yet. They're not under contract, and I don't want to say volunteer. Hey, Craig can think about this, but I think that they've been a partner in terms of this project and looking at how do we creatively approach this over the next little bit while we're looking at the 10-year capital plan. What options, so that we can come to you with some cohesive options of how we could stage this while we're looking at the capital plan and bring that back to you next month.
Before Craig says anything, the other mention I wanted to say is, we could go through like physical plant committee and talk about, like, it could be either physical plan or finance, and talk to our investment advisor about, again, what is liquid, and then move into physical plan to talk about maybe scaling back or doing it in phases or doing it all at once, because we may be able to afford this, dependent on what we have in our investments. Okay.
Oh, that's good. So I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but
I think you covered it well. I don't want to get into any specifics unless you want me to get into specifics on potential options for that phasing. But
I think I would recommend doing that in committee,
yeah,
or
makes
as
sense.
a committee of the whole.
I mean, we wouldn't, if we were doing it as committee of the whole, that was something we'd be doing down the line, right? Like not right this second, or what are you envisioning?
I mean,
Our conversation right now.
we could schedule, I mean, it depends on what the board would like to do. We could schedule like a finance committee meeting and meet with our investment advisor to talk about all of our funds and see what is possible. And then we could bring that to the full board and talk about that meeting. And then after that meeting, we could have a physical plant meeting and meet with Craig and or Mark and talk about phasing or not.
I think I personally like that idea of doing some committee work.
Yeah.
Like personnel policy has been pretty active, but we haven't really seen our other standing committees really be doing a lot of stuff. And I for one would like to see that, that smaller committee work and then bring it back to the board as a whole. If that's something that we could schedule. I was looking at like with this proposal and the timeline, now it seems like we might need to be shifting it back because we didn't get the grant, and then trying to figure out, funding and all of that. Is kind of where I'm coming from. I'm not sure how everyone else feels about that, but I would like to see it in the committees first.
I think we definitely need to look at our finances before we do the next thing, and also look at the 10-year replacement, because I think that's a big thing. We don't want to short ourselves there. And be prepared for that, and then see where that leaves us and how we can proceed.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Other thoughts? Alright,
So we can bring the data to the administration here and we can have that prepared for whenever those meetings
yeah,
are scheduled.
that's great.
Great,
And I really
thank you.
appreciated all the documentation that Tara put together, just
Mhm.
because it was so thorough and, I mean, really, I was looking through it like, wow, this is really, really spelled out for us, I really appreciate all
And
the
it's
work
good that we
put
have
into
that.
it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Use that
Lead our
moving
discussions.
forward.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Thank
you
you.
wanna
No, I
add?
think that's, we got our marching orders
Okay.
for right now. Yeah,
Alright.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for
waiting.
waiting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Stay warm for the
Hopefully
next few
everything
days.
goes well, yes. Yeah, what, -4?
Oh my gosh.
Really, really bad. Alright, thank you. Agenda item number 7 is committee reports, finance.
Nothing to report at this time. Looking forward to scheduling a meeting.
Okay. 7B, personnel and policy.
We will go through that later in the meeting.
Okay, and I know, based on the last meeting that we had, because we've got the policies coming up, but there were some other policies that,
Yeah, we'll probably schedule a meeting,
okay,
February-ish.
okay, thank you, and then 7C, physical plan,
Nothing to report.
but there will be. All right, thank you. Moving on, agenda item number 8 is staff report, 8A is the director's report, Dr. Weinstein.
Mine is very brief this month because we have a lot more to discuss on the other agenda items, but I did make mention of the 60th anniversary just in my report. I know we had a verbal discussion last month, but I wanted it on the record in the report. But I do also want to mention that, as you know, we received that wonderful proclamation from Senator Ellman. We also have some other things that should be in this room, like maybe right on that wall behind you there. We have like very old, like almost 8 by 11 oak plaques with like the board presidents' names in brass on them. They're very small, they're very antiquated. What I'd like to do is modernize them. I think they're called like legacy boards now. I'm working with a sign guy, not only for the board president names, but also for the proclamations and having something nice that works with our aesthetic right now, I think is better than having those old oak signs. So that's what I wanted to just make mention of. Next in my report is the personnel policy. I just listed what we did and more good work to come when we review those. Same goes for the TIP extension. I know there's an agenda item there. There'll be more information coming. Next, I included some notes on the government affairs meeting I attended. I'm not going to go over those unless there are questions. And then just lastly, I had my additional communication notes to the board. That's my report.
Thank
Unless
you.
there's
Did
questions.
anyone have any questions for the director?
No.
Okay,
Thank
great,
you.
thank you. Moving on then to 8B, the assistant director's report, assistant director Savage.
All right, so not many different facility people coming in, but a lot of stuff was done. So as Mark mentioned, IBS is still ongoing. They're coming out on Fridays, working their way through the punch list, and I am keeping track of things that still need to be taken care of. We had several different plumbers come out to address issues with these bathrooms. It's kind of a mess. So it got to a point where they told us we needed to call a commercial plumber and not a residential plumber. So we finally got a hold of the company that the Naperville Public Library uses. They came out and identified there are solenoids that are defective in the men's restroom. That unfortunately is like the most expensive portion of a toilet in a public restroom. So we are getting quotes from them. They sent me a quote for everything, and I asked them to itemize it. So I'm still waiting on that. But once I get that and we get down to the brass tacks on that job, we're going to schedule them to come in and hopefully resolve those issues. One source has come out for a couple different mechanical issues that have been noted. Now that the mechanical side of the HVAC project is wrapped up, there are some rods that control a damper in the east mechanical room that need to be readjusted and calibrated. They're going to come and do that, set it up in a more efficient manner than it was originally set up in. And then we also are having an issue now where the hot water pump that heats the storage room is not able to draw enough hot water to appropriately heat that area as it should, especially on super cold days. So they are going to address that issue as well. That's another one where we've said, yes, let's go ahead and do it. They're ordering parts. Once the parts are here, I will get them scheduled. And then Metal Master was out just as part of their our annual agreement with them, where they come out twice a year for preventative maintenance, and so they were out in early January.
Thank you.
Thank you.
East End bathroom.
Yeah, right.
Does anyone have any questions for the assistant director? As well?
Mhm.
All right. Moving on, 8C is the adult services report. We have the director of adult services, Elizabeth Hopkins, with us.
Hi.
Thank you so much for having me
Thank you for coming.
on what has been a very long night.
Yes.
I'll try to be quick but also entertaining for you. So no, truly, thank you for having me back. I'm so thrilled to be here. So tonight I wanted to say I was inspired by my friend and colleague John Ferrari when he brought in his cool down kits at his last visit with you all. So I stole that idea shamelessly and decided to do my own show and tell. So tonight I'd like to feature our Stay Sharp kits, which is what this lovely item is. As I'm sure you're all aware, my department circulates a lot of items that are not traditional, like library materials like books and AV. So for example, we have our Rokus that are preloaded with various streaming services. Might be the most popular item in this building, but I don't have any hard data in front of me. We have our Wi-Fi hotspots. We have our Kindle Paperwhites that are preloaded with hundreds of titles. We have our seed library, which it's funny that it's so cold this week. We are frantically preparing seed packets for the growing season. So we have spring on the brain in my department. It's only 8 weeks away, just hold on. We have book club in a bag, and then we have these Stay Sharp kits, which is what I want to focus on this evening and share with you all. Has anyone seen these before? Are these brand new?
Mm-hmm.
Do tell.
Okay, cool. So the kits are designed for individuals who are experiencing memory loss or other cognitive issues related to dementia or Alzheimer's or other memory disorders. So each kit contains, dare I say, engaging items based on a particular theme. So this is the garden kit that I brought in, but we also have a travel kit, a cat kit, an outer space kit, all kinds of good stuff. And each bag has a book and then 3 or 4 activities like puzzles, card games, crafts that are specifically designed to spark conversation and stimulate brain activity. What I think is especially lovely is that these kits encourage multi-generational participation. So this is something that's fun for families to do together and friends. I will speak for myself. I have 2 school-age children, and my 6-year-old would like go to town on these puzzles. So you could see a child and a grandparent doing this together. It's very nice. Here at the library, we have 7 different kits. And as I said, I brought in the garden kit, so I will show it off. Each kit does come with a book related to the theme. We also have included in our kits a magnifying glass, because as you can see, this print's not going to work for everybody. And I have to give credit where credit is due. Our home delivery coordinator, Carolyn, clocked the print right away when we got our kits and said, that's not going to work. We need a magnifier. In terms of activities, this one has a cute little grow and garden matching like memory card game, which I almost busted out when I was waiting for you guys to finish your sweet little butterfly puzzle. And then this one I think has this has the aqua paints. I don't know if you've seen these before. They're really sweet. You just run a damp brush over the paper and the painting appears. And then once it dries, it disappears and you can do it again and again. Yes, and therefore it's also reusable, which makes it appropriate to circulate, which can be tricky in libraries. So that is an example of the goodies we have in there. This collection and the community it serves is very near and dear to my heart. I'm very invested in this, and I'm sure most of us here have had someone in our lives affected by dementia or memory loss. But we are hearing from our community that this service is used and appreciated, and that is such a powerful tool for us. And I think I mentioned it in my last quarterly report. We got some nice feedback. So we had one patron come in. This is so sad. Her father had recently passed away, but while he was alive, they were checking these kits out together. And she specifically said, you know, doing these activities together kept us connected up until the end of his life. And like, oh, that kind of comment will just knock you sideways. We have another couple, they come in regularly, it's a husband and wife duo. And she shared with me that her husband has dementia, but he likes to come to the library just to walk around and see all the things and say hi to all the staff. They check out these kids a lot. And she said they love coming to the library because our staff is so nice. I was like, yes, of course we are. And then lastly, actually, since the time I wrote this report, I had a young lady come in. She's a professional caregiver, and she shared with me that she's helping a citizen in our community. What do we have for memory care? I walked her over to the kids. She was so excited. So I was just very happy to promote them. And I'm so proud. I'm so proud that our library is able to provide this service. And I'm so pleased to see it being used and getting all this kind feedback, because we don't always know what the people want. We kind of just throw it at the wall and see what sticks. And we make good judgment based on like our circulation stats, which is still good data. But to have somebody come in and tell us like what this meant to them, that's just so lovely. So in a nutshell, that's the Stay Sharp kit. What questions do you have for me about these or my report or anything in my department I can help you with while I'm in the room?
I just wanted to say that's wonderful. I love that you have these Stay Sharp kits. That's really cool.
Thank
And
you.
I'm
Should
really
get
excited about about having those. That's really great. And I know I mentioned this to you at the Diamond Jubilee celebration, but the slideshow that was going on that your department put together was just phenomenal. And I know you mentioned it in your report too, but I wanted to tell you again
Thank you so much.
how much I appreciated that. That was great.
Thank you. I'm so proud of them. They did such a good job.
That was great. Does anyone else have any questions or comments for?
I think this is wonderful. I mean,
Yeah.
as someone who works with this, population, I mean, I see this as such a great tool for me too, to tell people about, to come and get, and I know your husband and wife because they visit me too. And so, yeah, they're just lovely. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple of memory cafes that meet. I don't know if you're aware of them around here. So that would be great, for them. They're not in Lisle, but I know that people from Lisle do go and attend those. And I mean, I just think this is a nice, maybe you're setting a precedent for some other libraries to put something together, because it definitely fits a gap that is not filled right now for those people, and that are still have their loved one at home and looking for anything to do during the day.
It's so nice and tidy in one package.
Yes.
Well, it's just fun. I mean, there's like a little bag of stuff.
And the bag is clear, so you can see what's in it before you don't have to be.
Yeah. Well, and I like that it's called Stay Sharp. I mean, you gave it a very positive name.
I wish I could take credit for that, but the vendor who produces them has named them Stay Sharps, but
Nice.
we can just keep that between us.
In an open meeting.
Yeah.
I love all the focus on meeting different community needs.
Yeah.
It's not just
Yeah.
books.
Yep.
It's like, what do people need in our community and how can we reach them?
Absolutely. And it is a challenge because in my department, we serve 18 and up, and that is a very wide range of
Yeah.
people with very different needs. So,
Have you guys put this out on your social media yet?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I
I
think,
missed it. Yeah.
I don't remember when, we posted a photo of a family enjoying it. They sent us a
Mhm.
picture.
Mhm.
It was really
Mhm.
sweet.
Yeah.
It was very sweet.
Nice.
But certainly, if we add some more to the collection, we can do another.
Yeah.
A refresh.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Very
Great.
Very
Thank
cool.
you
Thank
very
you so much,
Really
Elizabeth.
for
We
having
really
me. I
appreciate
hope this was
it.
the fun part of
Staying
your
late.
meeting.
Yes.
Got to talk about
Always. The
puzzles.
staff reports are the best part of the
Yes.
meetings.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 9 is new business. 9A is to appoint a committee to prepare fiscal year 2025-2026 working budget. This can go through the finance committee or it can be via committee of the whole. Generally, it takes 2 meetings, one to review by either finance in a separate meeting or the whole board in a regular meeting, and then the following month is on the agenda for approval. Is there a preference from the board? Would you rather start in finance committee or would you rather be a committee of the whole?
What did we do last year? Was
We
it
did a
committee of the whole?
Committee of the whole.
Committee of the whole?
Committee of the whole.
Okay, sounds like there's a consensus for committee of the whole. So, as board president, I officially appoint a committee of the whole to prepare the fiscal year 25-26 working budget. Wonderful, thank you. Okay, 9B is to discuss the Village Downtown TIF extension. Director Weinstein, would you first brief us on last night's JRB meeting, and then trustees will discuss the village's request to sign the letter?
Yes, okay, so trustees were supplied with that PowerPoint from the JRB that I attended last night. Trustees have also been supplied with the letter the village has requested that the library sign. The JRB was essentially basically just a reading of this PowerPoint. There were some questions, and I'll go over just the very few questions that were asked. I asked about the letter, I asked if there would be another series of letters going out to every other entity that's on a residence tax bill. The village affirmed that all the letters have gone out to every unit of local government, because that's who has to sign these letters. It's not just the members of the JRB, it's every unit of local government. And then another question was, what if one entity does not sign it? We know that it would fail, and so the answer, the village would have to then start over with another downtown TIF, and the lines, they mentioned the lines may be drawn differently, but no details were provided about those lines. They just mentioned that. Another question was, how much money is this extension costing right now? And if they are forced to redraw the TIF and start over, how much would that cost? So right now, the current extension is costing the village $15,000 to $25,000. They gave a range. If they were to start over, it would cost between $35,000 and $50,000. Another question was, is the 14 million going strictly to Flaherty and Collins, or is it going to other lots in the TIF? It's strictly going to Flaherty and Collins. Then after the meeting, it was a pretty brief meeting, because again, they just read through this. Those 4 or 5 questions were asked. Before the meeting ended, the mayor asked me and the other directors to touch base with their board, and if there's any questions, to forward them to her and she could answer them. So if you have questions about what you're seeing in front of you or the letter, I can take notes, or you can email them to me and let the mayor know. But they would like us to either sign or not sign by March 2nd.
So we have another board meeting between now and.
Yeah, so there's no action item on this agenda. We will have an action item on the February board meeting.
And I know this is something that I talked with the director about before, but if you noticed in the letter, it has our entity's name wrong. It says Lisle Public Library, and that's not our name. We're the Lisle Library District. So all of the letter documentations would need to be edited to reflect our actual name. So, in case anyone else caught that when you were reading through it.
Good catch.
Any other questions for the director at this time?
So, just to make sure I understand what they are requesting, they want to extend the TIF for what, 12 more years because the developer on the corner of Main and Ogden is requesting that because they need more money from the TIF, basically.
Yes, not enough money has been generated within the TIF currently.
The library will close in 15 minutes. If you wish to apply for or to renew a library card, please do so now.
That's my understanding. But if you have any questions that you want to relay to the mayor, you can ask them now or you can email them to me and I will do so and then share them with the board.
Yeah, I wonder, like, what happens if this fails and they have to redo the TIF? What happens to the development there? Like, would they potentially pull out? Like, could this mean even more time with?
I can guess what they will say. They will say, we don't know.
Yeah.
Because there were some very peripheral questions that I know that the school district asked for more detail on the financials, and the TIF consultants said that they were continuing to review. So there wasn't any hard and fast answers.
This is the 3rd time or 4th time for Flaherty and Collins.
Time for what?
Them coming and going,
I don't know how
I think
many times
it's
they've
the
appeared
third.
before the PZC and.
I think it's the third time when they wanted to give us 30,000 square feet in the building.
Oh, with the
remember?
library, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we had engagement with them way long ago, but
Long time
there's
ago.
been different. Yeah, a while ago.
Yeah, that long ago. I don't know.
But our job isn't really to assess the project,
No.
it's more to
Yeah.
assess whether the TIF is appropriate.
Right.
And,
And so really, so right now, I feel like, we don't need to discuss anything further right now, it's just if we have questions that we would like the director to ask the mayor, then we can, how about, in the interest of time, if we just email the director if we have questions we would like her to propose, to the mayor, and then at our next meeting, we'll talk about it again, and that's when we have the action item,
Yes.
if you're going to sign or not. Okay, are we all good with that?
Mhm.
Perfect, great, okay, so then.
moving right along.
Moving right along. Alright, so 9C is to approve the per capita grant application. I have a motion and a second, and then Director Weinstein can summarize.
I move to approve the 2026 Illinois Public Library per capita grant application.
I'll second.
Okay, motion second, Director Weinstein.
Yeah, so as I mentioned in my packet notes to you all by email, the per capita, it looks a little different than it has in years past. They're just asking if we meet the court standards, and quick answer is yes, we do. You've been provided the standards so trustees can see them for yourselves. We do comply with all of the core. And then we will fill in the control number, there's an empty space there, just because that's confidential. And there's also a checkbox that's missing, we'll check that box saying that we have approved, the board approves and supports the Bill of Rights, so. Outside of that, that's my summary.
Any questions for the director on that? Or any further discussion? Okay, Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swister.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Bailey.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes, thank you. 9D is to approve LLD policy 100, vision, mission, and values. May I have a motion and a second, and then Director Weinstein to summarize.
I move to approve revisions to LLD policy 100, vision, mission, and values.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second, Director Weinstein.
So I'll preface this with, this is gonna be very brief. I'm just gonna go over the main points, since the personnel policy committee did such good work in editing. And everybody's already seen the drafts from, the committee, and they have clean copies. So, under policy 100, this hasn't been updated since 2006. There has been a title change that makes a lot more sense. We kept all the value statements that were previously there, but we updated the language to better reflect our strategic plan, wording, as well as the spirit of the strategic plan. And that's my summary. Unless there's
Great.
questions or
Questions,
changes.
further discussion, edits, anything? No? Okay, Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swister.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Bailey.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Okay, motion passes, thank you. 9E is to approve LLD policy 300, library cards. May I have a motion and a second, and then Director Weinstein will summarize.
I move to approve revisions to LLD policy 300, library cards.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second, Director Weinstein.
Yes, this was last updated in 2021. We've included Woodridge now because of the new Pulte development on Route 53. It includes a residential within our district, so that's been updated. We added a statement about automatic card renewals from the committee.
So as I was rereading this, because I was at the committee,
Yes.
I actually was stuck with includes most of Lisle proper and then including some unincorporated areas in Naperville and Woodridge, but there's also some unincorporated Lisle. So, and Lisle proper is just the village of Lisle, right?
You're right.
So we
Oh,
need
you're
to
right,
say
yeah.
something about
Meadows.
right, because the
Lisle.
Meadows is unincorporated and
Could we just
Green-
add
Four Laces as well, so
includes Lisle proper, including some unincorporated areas in Lisle, Naperville, and Woodridge?
so I just don't know, like, I don't know what's
Yes.
appropriate for encompassing that.
That'll do it.
So
That'll work.
including some unincorporated areas in Lisle, Naperville, and Woodridge? Okay,
Got
thank you.
Alright.
Good catch.
Oxford comment in there, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Any further discussion or comments on that one? Okay, Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swisbeck.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Aaron Larson.
Aye.
Laura Paley.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes, thank you. 9F is to approve revisions to LLD policy 340, internet access and public computer use. May I have a motion and a second, and then Director Weinstein can summarize.
I move to approve revisions to LLD policy 340, internet access and public computer use.
I second.
Okay, motion and a second, Director Weinstein.
Yes, last update was in 2023, so now it's kind of fresh, but it has a, introduction now includes Wi-Fi and mobile printing information. It also has a bit of reordering regarding the patron expectations that makes a little more sense there. We've updated the language throughout, also a new section on Wi-Fi under letter G.
The language home computer, we mean personal computer, correct? You cannot print from home to the library? You can,
Yes, because it's web-based.
okay, so you can print from home and come to the library and pick it up.
Yes.
Wow. I revised my,
So cool.
okay.
So cool.
Gonna have to try that, yeah.
Is there a limit on that? While
You're
I'm
paying,
asking?
you pay.
Oh, there we
You
go.
pay.
There it is.
That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right, any further discussion on that one? Okay, Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swisbeck.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Aaron Larson.
Aye.
Laura Paley.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes, thank you. 9G is to approve LLD policy 342, social media. May I have a motion and a second, and then Director Weinstein can summarize.
I move to approve revisions to LLD policy 342, social media.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second, Director Weinstein.
Yes, last updated in 2019. Mostly rewording for clarity, better language regarding responsibilities there, as well as a reference to the public relations policy, which we'll discuss next.
Did anyone have any questions, comments, edits, concerns on this one? Okay, Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swisbeck.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Aaron Larson.
Aye.
Laura Paley.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Okay, motion passes, thank you. 9H is to approve LLD policy 400, public relations. May I have a motion and a second, and then Director Weinstein can summarize.
I move to approve revisions to LLD policy 400, public relations.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and second, Director Weinstein.
Yes, last updated way back, 2002.
Oh, wow.
So this has been completely rewritten
Mm.
to better reflect what public relations is and why we need to explain the roles and guidelines for staff regarding emergencies or legal issues or media requests for information.
Okay,
My summary.
thank you. I did have something, we talked about this edit in committee, but it's
Did I
not here.
add it?
So in D1, so on page 133, we talked about it saying to ensure it meets both the needs of the LLD and the quality design standards. So get rid of that second meets
Oh, get rid of the meat.
and make it the.
The quality.
Oh, no, nothing, just nothing, right? It meets both the needs of the LLD and quality
Quality
design
design
standards, yeah.
Just get rid of
Just
that.
get rid of
In
it.
5 minutes, the library will be closed and the computer shut down. Please be sure to check out all materials
Sorry, I missed
before
that.
leaving
No,
the
that's
building.
okay. Any other questions or concerns on that one? Okay, Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swisbeck.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Aaron Larson.
Aye.
Laura Paley.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Okay, motion passes, thank you. Oh. 9I is to authorize the revocation of LLD policy 410, cooperative endeavors. May I have a motion and a second, and then Director Weinstein can summarize.
I move to revoke LLD policy 410, cooperative endeavors.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, thank you, Director Weinstein.
So the last time this was updated was in 2002. We're asking to dissolve this due to our strategic plan and our vision and mission and value statements already support these two sentences in this very short policy that talk about cooperating with other entities and agencies.
Thank you. Any questions or comments, concerns on that one? Okay, Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swisback. Aye. Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Bailey.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Motion passes, thank you. 9J is to approve LLD policy 665, recordings, photography, audio, and video. May I have a motion and second, and then Director Weinstein can summarize.
I move to approve revisions to LLD policy 665, recordings, photography, audio, and video.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second, Director Weinstein.
Yes, last updated in 2021, we referenced appropriate policies a little bit more generally here, so we don't have to keep going back to revise. Also, better wording in place for clarity, added a statement about not obstructing people during outdoor events, and this was in thinking of having the vacant lot redeveloped.
Any questions, concerns, comments, edits? Okay, Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swisback. Aye. Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Bailey.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Okay, motion passes, thank you. 9K is to adopt a new LLD policy 310, privacy. Adopt policy L 310, privacy. May I have a motion, a second, and then Director Weinstein can summarize.
I move to adopt a new LLD policy 310, privacy. Second.
Okay, motion and a second, Director Weinstein.
Yes, so this is our new policy. The reason we have this is because most vendors now are asking us to submit our privacy policy, which we don't have one. We have a lot of policies that do reference privacy and confidentiality. There's many that we have, but having one in one place makes the most sense. Especially if we accept credit cards or if we're doing text messaging, things like that. The vendors are asking for our privacy policy, and that's why what you see here. It outlines the state laws, our security system, patron accounts, public PCs, our credit card use, text messaging, and email and recordings. It also references all those other policies, so it's all in one place.
Any questions or concerns with this one? Okay. Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swisback. Aye. Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Bailey.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes, thank you. Agenda item 9L is to approve LLD policy 420, extension of services to Benedictine University students. May I have a motion and a second, and then Director Weinstein can summarize.
I move to approve revisions to LLD policy 420, extension of services to Benedictine University students.
I second.
Okay, motion and a second, Director Weinstein.
Yes, last updated in 2002. We removed faculty. This really only applies to the students. We provided a new introduction. We outlined what a local use card is and does. And then we added responsibilities for the students, which was never there in the past.
Any questions or concerns on that one? I do have a question, I couldn't remember when, on 144 in B1, when we talked about the event of loss or damage, so it says in the event of loss or of damage to, how did we word, what did we say?
That's
Or did we get rid of?
In the event of loss, or of damage to LLD material.
Of loss or, so that is right, that
Yes.
That's what
As
was
we said,
in my note.
in the event of loss.
Or damage.
I had it.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Or is
We
it of
probably-
loss?
The library is now closed. All staff, be sure to
Because
turn
if
off
we
your
didn't have
radios.
the or,
Good
after
night.
the or, in the event of loss, LLD material. Right,
Loss,
what-
loss of or damage to, is that what you're saying?
I think that's what it was, because if we took out the
Loss
or damage to, it can't be of loss LLD material, right? It would have to be a loss of LLD material.
I
Yeah.
went explicitly from what
I
was
think
discussed,
the
but we
or,
can absolutely
I
change
think the
this.
or and the of should be switched. I think it's in the event of
Yeah.
loss of or damage to.
With a comma in the
Yeah.
middle, loss of, comma, or damage to, comma,
Okay.
LLD
Yeah.
material.
Why is there a comma
Yeah.
before LLD material?
I don't know, I don't think there should be
I
one.
don't think there should be.
Yeah, get rid of that comma.
Alright.
I
In
had
the
it
event
circled.
of loss of or damage to LLD material, comma,
Yes.
charges may be added to the patron account.
Okay.
So the or and the of are switched and no comma,
Gotcha.
just a comma after material. Okay. Alright,
Kidding.
any other things on that one? Okay, Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swissair.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Bailey.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Okay, motion passes, thank you, we're almost done. Agenda item 9M is to approve LLD policy 655 piano use. May I have a motion and a second, and then Director Weinstein can summarize.
I move to approve revisions to LLD policy 655 piano use.
I second.
Okay, motion and a second, Director Weinstein.
Yes, last updated in 2002. Number one, the information here was incorrect. Number two, we updated the limits of use as it affects a very large resource, which is this room. But there is something that came out of the word work when we were having discussions and from staff, because we reviewed these with our department directors. The question was, what is our policy if we're not talking about the piano, but if a patron comes in and brings their trumpet? Or if a patron comes in and brings their drum kit to practice? So it's not our resource, but the room is. So the committee would like to bring this back to committee to discuss our meeting room policy with those potentialities. Outside of that, the committee would like the board to pass the piano use policy as presented, with the caveat that we would come back and revisit like instrument use, and we talk about noise, we talk about ways to address those things in our meeting room policy. Did I summarize that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay. So any questions or comments about this policy as is written at this time? Okay. All right, Jackie, please call the roll.
Emily Swissair.
Aye.
Vanessa Berry.
Aye.
Debbie Bryan.
Aye.
Josh Martin.
Aye.
Karen Larson.
Aye.
Laura Bailey.
Aye.
Liz Sullivan.
Okay, motion passes, thank you. Item number 10 is the opportunity for trustee comments. Vice President Berry.
I wanted to say how awesome the staff was last week when I had my data center meeting here, because I was originally expecting like 5 people, and I booked the Oak Study Room. And when it started gaining traction on Facebook, like Tatiana was great talking to me all day of like all the different options. So I got here early, and then Liz was awesome with the women's club. They worked with me and split the room so that we could move up here too, and it went much smoother than I was expecting. And staff was great bringing up all the chairs. It was chaotic, but the meeting went great, and I think if I had been trying to deal with it on my own, it would have been a lot worse. So, thank you guys.
Thank you. Secretary Martin.
No comments.
Trustee Sullivan.
Thank you for the committee that did all the heavy lifting on the policies. I was so impressed when I got the packet and I'm looking, oh my God, here's another one. I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean there was a lot of work done. So, and I know, Tatiana, that you do the first draft of those, so I appreciate that as well.
Everything was kind of connected, so they kind of led to one another, but thank you.
So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Trustee Larson.
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. Trustee Haley.
I just want to thank Director Weinstein and everybody at the LLD. There is really no telling what is coming this way next. I'm just amazed at all of the things that are happening here, both behind the scenes and in front of the public, that I'm just amazed at how you handle it all. Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you. Treasurer Brian.
I reiterate what Liz said about the policies. There was a lot. You guys did a lot of work. Thank you very much. And I feel really good when I know Emily is looking over things because you're such a good editor, and I'm not. So I really appreciate all your attention to detail on that. And and thank you for just keeping the ship afloat, both of you. Will has had his hands full with with lots of plumbing. You're gonna be able to redo your own plumbing after this. So thank you, everybody. Yeah.
Thank you. And then I'll go last. I just wanted to say thank you to the board. I know this was a longer meeting tonight, and I really appreciate us all sticking with it and being attentive and sharing and being active and part of the discussion. So thank you for that. Thank you to the director and assistant director for all the work that you do. It's not a notice. Thank you to Jackie for also making us afloat over here. And also to Elizabeth Hopkins, Director of Adult Services, who joined us this evening. It's always great to see the department directors, and for her to show the Stay Sharp kits was really exciting this month. So I really appreciate that as well. With that, the last item on the agenda is to adjourn. May I have a motion and a second?
I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Wait, who's getting the second?
There we go, Liz.
Second.